Hey guys, and thanks for stopping by the channel. In today's Star Citizen video, we are going to take a look at and do an overview of the Anvil Hurricane. Now, in my opinion, this is probably the best dual-seat heavy fighter in the game. The only other ship I could really compare it to it is the Scorpius, and because of the different profiles, I just find the Hurricane feels much superior due to the sleek profile when you're looking directly on the ship. Now, as I'm sitting here, you can see that the sleekness of the front and the linear line it has to it makes it much harder to hit when you're, kind of in a turn rate battle, right? So, not only that, the ship absolutely packs a massive punch. Now, factory for this ship, you get the 2 size 3s on the front, and you get 4 size 3s on the top. Now, right away, I can tell you the first thing I do when I'm in this ship is I change the front 2 weapons, the front 2 repeaters, to size 4 repeaters because as it comes from we'll call it from the factory, it comes with 2 size 3 gimbaled. Now, I change these to 2 size 4 fixed. I find the ship is plenty maneuverable enough to use those in a fixed position. The 4 size 3s that are up on top, they stay exactly like they are. It's fantastic. Running a full repeater setup on this ship is the way I've always ran it. I've tried quite a few different things, like running the cannons on the front, but in the repeater loadout, I just feel like it's just the way to go with this ship, and it really packs a wallop, let me tell you. So what I'm going to do is we're going to walk around here and just take a quick look at the profile of the ship and everything. The ship has incredible acceleration in a straight line, and it's not too bad on the turn radius and the turn in banking and etc., especially during the dogfights. Now, the way the passenger will get into this is a little bit different. There's not a cockpit area that the passenger would get in, right? The passenger actually climbs up in here to get on the turret, and I will show you that now. We will enter the gunner seat. I think it's fantastic how the seat actually drops down and you can get into it. I think it makes it a little faster to enter the gunner seat. And there you have it. Now you can see that this is the gunner seat. You have a pretty good view, full 360 rotation, and with 4 size 3s, you've really got, a good punch for a turret. The cockpit is also pretty good itself. I guess in this game I would say I base everything off of like the visuals and what it actually looks like for you to be able to see out of, because that's half the battle, being able to see when you're in a dogfight. And this ship does perfectly fine. Now, the 2 bars, sometimes I feel like they get in the way, but it's not as bad as you think when you're in the dogfight. But that's a quick look at what your view is looking out. You have pretty good side windows all the way around, so if you're using like a Tobii eye tracker or Trek IR, you've got a pretty good view out the top and the sides of this. Next, what I'd like to do is get you guys, like I always do in most of my ship overviews, we are going to take a look in Urkel games and just show you what the ship comes with in that situation, how I'm switching it, what missiles I'm using, what missile racks I'm using, and what type of components I like to use on the ship. It is a pretty standard loadout for a heavy fighter in the game that the state it's in currently. As of making this video, we are in 3.22. The components are there's only really one way you can go. You can change the quantum drive to use less fuel, to take a little bit longer, which is an option. Sometimes I will throw a military like C in it, but in this ship I normally just run straight military A's, leave it alone, and go at it. I'm not usually making long jumps in my Hurricane. So let's get into Urkel games real fast and let's take a look. Okay, here we are in Urkel games. I will drop a link to this in the description if you're new to this and new to seeing this. So up here, I have the Hurricane selected as my ship. If you pull this up and it is not your ship, this is how you get there. You just select your ship and it brings you a drop down of all your selected brands, and there you go. You can select whatever your ship is. So diving into this, let's start with the weapons. We'll go left to right here. So here's your size 3 Panthers, like I said, they're on the gimbal. Knock those down. You can put them on the size 4s. Attrition, size 4s, whatever works for you. I run the size 4s fixed is what I normally go to on this particular ship. I find the fixed works perfectly fine. On the man turret, perfect size 3 repeaters. Leave it be. Works fantastic. A lot of firepower there. Good sustained fire. Now, moving on to the missiles. What I always do is leave the size 2. And most everybody tells you in the status of the game, just go to size 1, more the better. I normally leave the size 2, and I drop the Rattlers. This is exactly what I run pretty much every time in this particular ship. If it's a ship that'll give me a ton more missiles, I will go down to the size 1, but in this case, I don't use a lot of missiles in this. This is more of a up close and personal type ship, in my opinion. So I run the 4 Rattler 2s. Now, when we get into the components, again, in the state of the game, running the military components is fine. Even the setup that it comes with is not bad. Maybe just pop up the shields a little bit. Military A's, the FR-76s are great. And then for your quantum drives, I run 2 different, depending if I'm going to make jumps or not. In this ship, I normally don't. I'm normally pretty close when I call it. The call time is pretty quick. I normally just go ahead and run the VK00s for the military grade A. The rest can be left if you want. The power plant, you can go ahead if you're going to upgrade everything else, throw the JS400 on it, and be done. But as far as components, guys, this thing is pretty quick. There's not really a lot to go over as far as loadout. It's pretty standard setup, especially for a heavy fighter. Now, again, if you're new to this, it does tell you where to buy all these different items down here. It gives you all the different places and the cost of each. So it's a pretty fantastic program. Again, I will leave the link to this program in this little app into the description of the video. So check it out. Okay, I hope going through that little bit of Urkel Games helped you guys out if you're looking at different loadouts and such. One thing before I get you guys out of here, I did want to show one thing that I missed at the beginning, and I did want to show the missiles. Now, I think in Urkel Games I was saying that I normally leave the size 2 missiles, and I run the Rattlers. Now, if you're going to run the size 1s, you know, Pioneers are the way to go, but with the specific setup of the ship, I think for the 4 size 2 Rattlers that you can run on this is just a perfect loadout for this ship. I mean, most of it is up close and personal with the firepower of the repeaters, so they do look pretty cool the way they're tucked up underneath the wings, though. But yeah, guys, that is really all I have for you on this ship, trying to make this short and sweet. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. This really is one of the best, you know, dual seat fighters, especially with that turret on top. It's fantastic. I know that the Scorpius kind of has the same type of turret, but man, the sleekness of the ship, I just find it's a little bit less brittle than the Scorpius and just a little bit superior. So thanks, guys, for sticking around. If you're still here, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't. It's a perfect free way to help the channel out, as always. Thank you for the support, and I will see you guys on the next video.